I'm on my way to Dorset, and I'm on my way to see one of my lovely viewers. Will you be able to do the Vobes show and keep everything else going?
No.
Oh, this is Ernie, by the way. I was just too busy looking at the champagne. Ow. Get out of it, you swine. Well, I drink to that. Cheers.
Okay.
Well, we're back from Hambledon Hill. What a beautiful place it is. And there was, I wish I'd taken this camera really, because there were pockets of sunshine coming out of the mist and it just looked lovely, but the GoPro obviously doesn't do it justice. So back, I bought Ernie, we stopped in a little shop, so I bought him a croissant for our sort of, I don't know, 11s or whatever, 12s I think it was. So we've had those, and he's got to wait for a delivery now for something, and he was telling me about what the vicar had told him was the remains of a medieval village down in one of the fields near here. There's a public footpath that goes through it, so I'm interested to have a look. The place I'm looking for, that the vicar said to Ernie was a medieval village. When I've looked on old maps, turns out that I don't think it is a medieval village was there. I mean, it might have been. The story went that there was a medieval village and died out when the Black Death came. So that's often not a thing. That's often, those sort of stories are a bit of a myth. It could be all sorts of things to explain why a village has disappeared. However, when I look on old maps, the oldest map that I could find for this area is about 1888, and there was a farm here called Brook Farm. Now, I also looked for the area to see if the Brook Farm came up in any search, and I did discover that there was a girl who was born at the farm in 1870 called Bessie. So that's it. I mean, she was in the census of 1881 she was 11, so that gave us the age. Interesting that it was Brook Farm, because it is literally just over the way from here. There is a brook that runs along this hedgerow that I'm walking. It's just along here, all along this hedgerow, there's a brook, and it goes, I don't know, goes on quite some distance, which would explain why the house was called Brook House. But the thing is, it's no longer there now. Don't know why. I'm not here long enough to find out. But it's interesting how perhaps it never was a medieval village, that these are Chinese whispers. Who knows? But maybe there was a village here and that is all that was left. But I know that looking at the old maps, there was a stable and the remains of a house. Ah, this is interesting. You see, there's undulations over here, which could very easily give the impression that these are foundations from something else. But maybe at one time this was the old yard. There's a wall over here just to my left. We'll have a look at that. And maybe this was the old yard. And I think in this area up here where the trees are, that's where the house used to be. I tell you, I'm very thankful that there are no cows in the field at the moment. On the other side, there is an end of the barn. So I think that's what that must have been, a small barn. The footpath actually goes round these trees, which are here on my left. The ground is undulating, bits of masonry in here, perhaps where the house was when it was demolished. Some of the masonry just scattered here. Fascinating. Got to go through another gate here into a field of what looks like spring barley. We can't from then on see what's in the wood. Well, I've poked my head through. You can't see anything. It's just one complete thicket of woodland, very much overgrown. But I think, judging by the old maps, that must have been where the building was, and for some reason it's just been left, and trees and what have you have gone in. There's no masonry as I can see, so nothing to see. But that would have been interesting if there'd been a little bit in there. This is the footpath, so I'm all right here. Obviously don't want to trespass in and push my way through, but I couldn't see anything, so it was worth investigating. Brilliant. Thanks, Ernie, for telling me about that. These sort of things, they just, you know, little icings on the cake. Cheers, Ernie.
Cheers, Richard.
Another day completed. Good day?
It has been.
It has been.
It hasn't rained.
And we've been busy. We've been up on a high hill. I've been out inspecting a medieval village that may not be. And you've had a whole load of kitchen furniture delivered.
Not.
No. Didn't come.
No. We rushed back home, expecting a delivery at 17 minutes past 1 to earn a 1 hour gap. Didn't arrive. Had left the depot. Where is it now? No
Who
idea.
knows?
Yeah, who knows?
It's probably on a motorway somewhere, on a hard shoulder with a flat tyre. It might come tomorrow.
Yeah, well, they're going to call me at 6:30.
Oh, well, that's soon.
It's soon, yeah.
Meanwhile, we're just enjoying a very quiet drink.
That's right.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Cheers, everybody. It's raining. It's about 2:30 in the morning. I've just got up to do a call of nature. I'm very tired. My face is probably folded up. And it was very, very noisy a few minutes ago. I thought I'd try and capture it, but every time I go and try and do a little bit of recording, of course, it stops. But you can hear some of the noise. Thundering down when it does thunder on this tin can of mine. If I look out the window, there's absolutely nothing to see, because out here in the rural countryside, it is very dark. I got a little light here. Little night light. There is nothing to see. Well, I go back to bed. Night night. If I can find the light. There it is. At the back of, well, behind the van, and at the front where the entrance that used to be for the school, there's these two holm oak trees, beautiful old trees, probably planted, I think, when the school was built in 1857. Now it's a nice little quiet corner of wilderness. I think Ernie's going to sort of tidy it up, but I actually like it as a sort of wild corner. It's really good. Anyway, it's Sunday morning now. Sun is rising. There's a little bit of rain, hence the comedy hat. But actually, I think it's going to drizzle and just be a bit damp on and off, but hopefully not too bad. Not sure what the plan is, other than I think that Ernie wants to take me for lunch at the local pub. I might walk down there beforehand if it stays reasonable, just to look at the area, or we might do something else. And after that, I'll probably start to head home, and that'll be the end of my adventure. But it's been great. I loved it. I've absolutely loved it. I kept thinking about modifications for the van. The more I do this, the more I realise I really want to do this. And so although it's taken me a long time to get used to the van and thinking about the van, that's always been on the cards, to not rush into the changes. But I think I will rip out the layout that it is at the moment and replace it with this modular idea that I've got. But I need to draw that up, and of course I'll share everything with my lovely viewers. I think it's time to put the kettle on and have a cup of coffee and see if the clouds will shift aside and the sun will poke through. It is Sunday. Just after 10, and on the Sunday we're having a vigorous walk, aren't we, Ernie?
Yes, we are.
Absolutely vigorous. We've walked about 6 or 7 miles so far.
Yep.
And
Too
look at
early
us.
for a Sunday.
Yeah. No, we've only just stepped. We've only stepped away from your lovely house. Where are we going on these wonderful Dorset narrow, high hedged roads?
Well, it's a through road between one main road to another, which for some unknown reason they've kind of made it private. And so as you enter this lane that we're going into, the sign says dead end. Right. But it's not a dead end. You go to another road. Maybe it's to do with the farm that we're approaching soon.
Oh, I see. Just keep people out.
Yeah. It is odd.
Because they are narrow roads, and I suppose there's no turning spaces. So if you're coming down here, you're going to end up having to either reverse all the way back or drive onto the verge, which at the moment is very overgrown. Yeah.
It's a width of a car, but then it is quite tough. And you get lorries, tankers coming over to the farm to collect the milk from the cows. Oh right. And so it's deceptive, isn't it? You see these country lanes and you just think, well, who goes, it's all very quiet, and then suddenly massive great tractor comes thundering along, or as you say, a tanker. Yeah. Quite interesting. Here we are approaching the farm. It's overgrown.
Oh, is this the derelict house?
Yeah, and it's quite creepy as well. It goes beyond this first part of the building. There's like another section. I've been in there before, But I'd like to go in there when it's dry.
Ernie is holding up this wire fence. Now, because nobody really knows where we are, I wouldn't normally condone this, but I'm struggling just to have a look. Old Dorset building. Here. Can we get over this wall? All overgrown. Is it a barn or a house? Oh, it's in a house. There you go, look. Fireplace on the far end. Some doorways. Dry stone walling by the looks of things. On the upper end there's a window with those old metal windows. And I think it extends a bit beyond, but all covered in brambles here completely. Fascinating. And then what is beyond it? We'll have to look on old maps. We'll have to look on old maps, Ernie. Let's see if the house is marked. It's probably, I don't know, what do you reckon? 18th, 17th, 18th century? 18th century?
The grouting on here is identical to our school.
Oh, right.
So at least.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Got to go back under the.
At least 1850, at least. Yeah.
There we go. Oh, how interesting. How very interesting. Thanks for showing me that. I'm not sure I can get this in the essay, Ernie. This old Sawn Up Oak. What's the story with that?
It had a disease, so it had to be cut down, according to the arborist that we know. But just by looking at it now, it looks fine, but he knows better, I suppose. It's a shame. I don't know, about 200-300 years old.
Yeah, it must be, mustn't it?
Yeah, so...
In the just here, presumably it is where it fell.
It was, yeah, it was here. Just
where it is, yeah. Yeah.
When I passed it, I mean, it was felled about 3 months ago. We saw it every time we walked past every week. It looked fine to me. So again, it's a mystery.
Look at that scenery. You know, when you come into some of the wonderful rural parts of England and you look over a gate and you see this, what looks like a very preserved England from, well, you could be stepping back in time apart from the drone of cars and things, and not there's any aeroplanes at the moment because nobody's flying. You don't really have that concept that the country is being slowly built on and that houses and new builds are going up, gobbling up farmland. We're still at that stage where it hasn't affected quite a lot of England. But it is. It's slowly creeping in. And that's what concerns me a lot. Like all good things, it's got to come to an end. So hand over the keys and bog off. Ernie, it's been fantastic. I've had an amazing adventure here in Dorset. You've taken me around all of Dorset, and I forgot the camera, so we didn't show you that. No, we've had this whole area, we've gone for a walk, and that's my phone. It's the agent saying, get on with it. We've just been to the pub, haven't we?
We have a local called the Trooper Inn, named after what's just after the First World War, where they used to recruit all the civilians into war, and because it was such an awful war that they decided to rename that pub to the Trooper Inn.
Do you know what it was called before?
No.
But it was lovely food, very nice food, and we both feel a bit full up now, don't we?
Stuffed. Puddings.
Yes.
Beer.
Nice pudding. So I'm going to make my way home now, and so it's really just say thank you so much. It's been great fun, and I know we haven't really shown much of Ernie's house because you're going through this renovation period, so we've come back.
Yes, definitely.
And see it when it's all finished, and then show it off.
And a nicer weather as well, it hasn't.
Yes, today it's just been sort of like almost raining, not rain, sun comes out, and you're going, it's hot. No, it's cold. It's hot. What shall I do? But I've enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been great camping out in the van. I've thought about my van conversion that I want to do, and you've been making cups of tea and feeding me and all of that. So it's been wonderful.
And thank you for coming over. I mean, I've been a fan of yours for just around 3 years.
Blimey, how about that?
And my search initially to go to the West Country was kind of helped by you. Oh, that's how I found you. Initially, we were going to move to Sussex, and I wanted to investigate the Sussex countryside, and I found you, and then somehow we decided to move to the West Country, but I still kept my loyalty to you, doing your walks in Sussex and so on, your chats.
How about that? Well, there we are. Well, this has been my first one of these new format long things. I hope it's all made sense. I have no idea because I haven't edited any of it, and it's all in bits and bobs. So I shall be spending the week coming putting that together. So there you are. Anyway, better get to the end. So lovely to see you, Ernie. I've got a 2.5 hour drive home. All you've got to do now is like, subscribe, become a patron, all the usual, and we'll see you next time. Thanks very much for watching. Bye!